Once again, good morning, everyone. My name is Stephanie Barger, and I'm so excited to be here today and to welcome you to the National Zero Waste Conference for 2021. We have an exciting lineup, and this is because of our amazing organizers. First of all, the National Recycling Coalition. And I encourage all of you to visit their website, become a member, and get involved. They are such a critical organization to moving zero waste forward. And then our conference host for today is Zero Waste USA, another powerhouse in changing not only what's happening at the community level, but globally. And then I want to personally thank Ruth and Portia for leading this charge and for all the wonderful volunteers that help bring this together. And then most importantly, we couldn't do this without our valuable sponsors. So at the gold level, we have Pink Care, Zinca Recycling, and Strategic Materials, Inc. And then at the silver level, we have Sure Clothes, Urban Ore, Race to Zero Waste, Green Education, Recyclist, and Zero Waste Sonoma. And we want to thank all of our sponsors. So please take the time during our sponsorship showcase and breaks, and even during the chat, to thank them. So in ushering in the National Zero Waste Conference for 2021, we want to also usher in a new era of zero waste. And our experts today will showcase how we can get there. I joined the zero waste movement almost 20 years ago, and my foray into it was plastic pollution. I had a community organization, and we were doing hundreds and hundreds of beach cleanups, river cleanups, high school cleanups, and literally going upstream to figure out not only where the plastic pollution, but all of the trash was coming from. And the only solution is to get to zero waste and to go to the source and find a better way of not only controlling these materials, but understanding their value. And so as we look forward to 2022, I would encourage all of you to eliminate the word waste. It would be amazing to no longer see waste management plans, but commodity plans, zero waste plans, resource plans, material plans. So if we can eliminate the word waste from our language, as the Indigenous people did. Indigenous people never had a word for waste because nothing was wasted. It was all natural, or they were reusing it. And so if we can go back to those old ways. And from the business perspective, this is all about being efficient. If you have a trash can and even a recycling or composting, you are literally throwing money away. And going upstream into your systems, it means that you are handling more materials or buying more materials than needed. So the other thing we want to do is we want to talk about markets. Markets are back, and especially with our e-commerce, more than ever, there's the need for OCC, or old corrugated cardboard. And if a market doesn't exist in your community, then help create it. Bring other businesses together and find out what those hard to recycle, or if something's just missing, even as simple as food scrap composting. We have had many of our businesses come together with their local city government and their haulers and create viable composting materials. And then systems that don't work. And a lot of our systems are based in the 80s. We still have clients, which Excel is amazing, but where is the software? Where's the technology? And that will be showed. We have some great speakers that have come up with new software programs. We now have artificial intelligence for helping us identify our materials. We have cameras and bins. So once again, bringing sophistication into the zero waste movement. And then no more focusing on the downstream. As long as we're focusing on the 3 bins, we're never going to get anywhere. So we want to turn those recycling bins into source separated commodity bins. We want to focus on that upstream, and we have a great panel talking about the invisible bins, reduction and reuse. Another one I always think gets forgotten is repair. Repair is so critical. And once again, going back to that, where are our apps? And I know there's a lot of amazing people out there that have developed apps for sharing of food, for sharing of resources. So let's bring that to the focus. And then once again, we don't want to look at our systems as adequate, but look at an opportunity to bring them into the future. I always say we have people living in outer space. So if we can have a space station up there, it runs by itself, it's pretty much a closed loop system. They can't create a lot of trash, and we know some of it does go out in space, but let's help them also. But let's bring that sophistication here and let's work with one another. Zero waste is really all about community. And it's about understanding what government resources exist. I mean, EPA is just an amazing organization, but also at your state level, at your local level. And then nonprofits are an invaluable resource to all of us. If you want to educate your employees, then bring in organizations like Surfrider and Heal the Bay and Habitat for Humanity, and they'll help your employees understand the value and the repercussions that are happening. And then also your schools, not only looking at your schools for donations, but at resources. Our universities at UC Berkeley, they have a zero waste lab. And I'm just so excited about our youth, because when I was going to school, environmental education was really about the birds and the bees. Now we have sophisticated programs like social economics, sustainability economics. And so we can really bring that in. And then these speakers today are going to be showcasing everything from how to return glass to its natural state, highlighted by the ranch. We're going to talk about zero waste construction, but more importantly, deconstruction, so we can get those materials back and create that circular closed loop economy. I'm going to be bringing up our first set of speakers, which is the roadmap to zero waste, in a few minutes. And they're going to be talking about how to get started, what's working, what doesn't work at the local level, at the individual facility level, and then how you roll this out through your entire company chain and at the global. And though it's not highlighted here, they're also going to be talking about, and we have many companies that are zero wasting their entire supply chain. And that's when you bring everybody on board. We see this from the very large companies where they have aggressive net zero goals, and they have, their goals are set at 2025 and 2030. So leverage that knowledge, leverage that money, leverage that resources from these big companies and get involved with them, whether you're a small vendor or large vendor or a service provider, to help them move forward. You know, a lot of people criticize the big companies, but they can really help us change everything we're doing. I always love to share one of our partners, Raytheon. I worked for 7 years to ban food service styrofoam in Newport Beach, and you know, had the kids out, press conferences, petitions, and everything. Raytheon made a commitment, and they did a great campaign called Serving Up Sustainability, and they were able to eliminate food service styrofoam in all their North America facilities within 6 months. And so that's how quickly we can change with leadership and training. So with that, I'm going to introduce our panel, our roadmap to zero waste. So let me just share my screen. And I do want just a couple of logistics. We do have everybody on mute and not sharing their videos. There will be opportunities for breaks and everything. You should all have the links if you want to go to the concurrent sessions. The password's the same, there's just a link. If you're having any technical issues, please put it in the chat, and the support system we'll get right back to you. And once again, I want to thank all of our volunteers. We're fully supported today, and that gives a lot of confidence to myself and to all of the speakers. So thank you once again to the volunteers. So just give me a moment to share my screen.